this transition is just incredible to watch. 100% original.
This is music beyond understanding. It goes so far past understanding. It's hard to consider it music.
Okay, tell him. Yes, 100%. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know when those bottles, sometimes they say 100% juice and there's no artificial flavors. And you know, sometimes you're suspecting like, but I think there's something in there. I don't know if it's like what the FDA approves or whatever. But all I'm saying is, you know, like when you walk up in like an actual like organic-y type of store, like this is going to be that product, you know? It's going to be packaged with like, I don't know, like shoelaces, like old shoelaces that were recycled, you know what I mean? Like and made into
it's just
cardboard.
that real.
It's that
it's
real.
Just real. It's
real.
organic.
Yes, exactly.
Anne-Marie was just a girl from Addiston, a historic village of approximately 1,000 residents about 10 miles west of downtown Cincinnati. Although she had humble beginnings, she quickly made a name for herself as a musical prodigy, performing piano in local churches and in high school jazz band. Music flowed through her veins, constricting and releasing, and with every exhalation, a melodic symphony bled out into the hungry world. Although unworthy, she graced us with a transitory euphoria. Society stood captivated, hanging on to every note, and the poignant melisma left a lingering piece of enchantment in our souls. We became presumptuous. When we heard arrest, we made the fatal error of believing that we crossed a double-bar line. Forgetting to flip the page, we were left trembling in shock. Anne-Marie announced her musical comeback with the most formidable soffesando the world had ever heard. We once basked in a glorious repertoire freckled with broken chords and syncopated rhythms. Anne-Marie decided to give us a new canon, and this time with lyrics. With a striking control of language, Soul Food is filled with double entendres, subliminals, and internal rhymes that slither into our cores and intertwine with our being. She gave us comfort like no other. She gave us soul food.
Soul food is about coming uppance, pretty much. Originally, I was born in a small village and in Ohio, and now I am not in that small village anymore. So I think that you have to like kind of acknowledge like where you're at in life, the changes that have occurred. If you want to know about Diamondback, you truly have to ride in Diamondback. Diamondback is basically a roller coaster on wheels. It is a car, but it is also it has a mind of its own. And I say it, but I think it's a he. But basically though, Diamondback has been there with me through thick and thin. Or not SVU or Captain Crunch, I'm talking about toast, not trying to do the most but. So we try to talk about the time where my pancakes were stiff, but watch me, I'm gonna kill them in this riff. Let's see, we talked about the time we ordered pizza and it was thin like toast. But you know, I'm still trying to process that. I think it's going to be very important to reveal the side of myself, you know, what I've been dealing with, all the comments and, you know, the shade throwing that's just accumulated and made my whole insides like a little bit too shady, you know, like so now I'm bright.
I really love I'm Cold. Even though I'm not always cold all the time, the epitome of soul food is written all over that track. The ad-libs, the layered vocals, the harmonies, the lyrics. I mean, To be so cold that the Titanic has nothing on you is it's just something that you can't describe unless it's through a project like this.
No Limit is basically my experience overcoming financial hardship. All that stuff is like in your brain. Despite what people say or may say to you about having limits, you shouldn't put that on yourself. I think they're basically like projecting onto you. You just need to realize, like I did, that you can do what you want because there are no limits.
This is the opus magnum.
Okay.
My thriller. And I believe, in the early 1980s, that if Michael Jackson had the opportunity to choose me as his producer for Thriller, he would have picked me over Quincy.
Oh Lord. Wow. That's powerful.
And there's been a lot of people who have put us down.
Yes.
Who have thought this was a ridiculous idea.
Right.
They asked us, "Are you serious?"
Tell him.
It's 1:00 in the morning. It can't get more serious. I feel like Caffeinated does have a special place in my heart.
Yes.
It resonates with me on a deep spiritual level. There's just so many pieces on the album. It's just impossible to choose one that speaks to my soul. It's all soul food.
Caffeinated it really talks about my love for coffee, like the makeup for my soul, I think.
If I had to choose a dance that would be appropriate for the music on Soul Food, it would just be a disaster because each track is so unique. It's cohesive in the way that it resonates with the soul, but each track has a very distinct identity that is intertwined with the theme. And I kept that in mind when I produced these tracks, layers upon layers. If we wanted a rock beat, we have to start with rock elements.
Right.
You have to start with that heavy guitar.
Right.
If you want that funk, you have to get that percussion in there.
Right.
And so the way that I dance to Diamondback is going to be a lot more different than, how I would dance to something like Soul Food.
Yes.
That's more of a praise dance song.
So ever since I was a little girl, I didn't let any type of intolerances get in my way. I just realized how much I really appreciated mac and cheese. And so I replaced the cheese because I technically can't have that. So I replaced it with please because I please would like to be able to eat it. And good mac and cheese is where it's at. But if you don't make good mac and cheese, then nobody wants that. Right. So, cookout is about basically a cookout, and in like my family, when you have cookouts and you invite everybody, you have to have a citronella candle, you have to have like burgers, and you have to have like other essential cookout foods. When you're invited, you need to show up. So it's crazy because I just found out like 2 minutes ago that I've been invited to perform a sold out show. I mean, once they heard it was my name, apparently I didn't even know I was doing this, And it sold out. And then my producer and my ticket person, they both told me like, oh, you know, hey, you're performing a sold out show at Paul Brown Stadium.
Oh.
And so I was like, wow, like for real? Like, are the Bengals gonna be there? I mean, it's just so many like things going through my head at that moment. And, you know, I was just like, look at God, look at God. Because, you know, he shows up, he shows out.
Right. And you coming from a village,
yeah,
and making it all the way out here.
Exactly. A village has got like factories and stuff in it. Just real hard out in the streets out there. You know what I mean? There's like a bait shop and stuff.
Oh, okay.
There used to be an old bakery down there.
Used to be.
Yeah, used to be. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy down there. It's like right near the river, so you know, it like floods and stuff sometimes. I mean, it's just crazy. So, you know, I gotta thank him
Being
up above.
a village girl, making it all the way out.
Like, you gotta like drive like a good like 15-20 minutes maybe. I mean, granted, you know, I did live out in the suburbs for most of my childhood, but just to think about, you know, the evolution of like that, you know, like I didn't change into a different being, like, you know, evolution type of thing. Like,
right.
You know, I wasn't like a fish to like a dinosaur to like a person or
Right.
something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a metamorphosis.
Exactly.
Like a butterfly.
A butterfly. Thank you. But not like those little ugly caterpillars with like the orange stripes. I don't know if that's actually a caterpillar or not, but not like that. It's like
I don't know either.
It's an actual like straight up big green juicy like looking caterpillar. They still look kind of gross, but not as gross as the fuzzy ones. Into a beautiful, not the ugly swan though, because that's
right.
like that's
we don't want that
like
either.
that. But like, you know, the butterfly, like whew, nobody can touch me and like do some crazy stuff with my wings and stuff like that. So.
Although A. Marie has turned into a butterfly, it's only the beginning of her journey. We'll leave our journey with this quote. Critics say soul food fills our stomachs in ways recent rap has been unable to. Delivered with an attitude and relentless bite that carries a new kind of heat, these are verses not just anyone can cook up. Bring the spice each time and you will always have a place at my table.